There are some things that you have to keep in XCOM in order for it to be XCOM, as people recognize it. You have to have it turn-based. You have to have the ability to take the alien technology and turn it back against the aliens. You need to have a strategy game that's progressing based on the results of your tactical campaign. And the tactical game really kind of has to be the heart of XCOM. And I think when you have those elements, you can change the ways that you go about different parts of that, and you still get a game that is recognizably XCOM, but has kind of a new feel to it. XCOM is an interesting game in that it's possible to lose. There are 16 members in a funding council that make up that back XCOM, and if panic level in any one of those countries rises too high, it withdraws from the funding council. If you lose 8 out of the 16 member nations, you lose the game. And it's possible to have serious consequences like a game you can lose in XCOM because it's a turn-based game. You give players the time to make the decisions that are important, you think through the consequences of their action. They're much more comfortable with having serious outcomes like permanent death and the possibility of losing the game. The difficulty levels kind of tweak different parts of the game. I know on classic difficulty, we make it very, very hard for you. We make it brutally honest with what you're going to come up against. On some of the easier difficulty levels, we want you to we want you to succeed, and you probably will be able to succeed on easy. Normal difficulty, I will admit, even as a guy working on the game, normal difficulty is plenty of challenge for me. Being 3D is great in terms of what it offers us in terms of creating an environment that feels very exciting and alive and plausible. It's the sort of thing that you can look outside and say, hey, I know something that sort of looks like this in the real world. In my case, I can walk through parts of London and go, hey, this would make an excellent level. So it's that ability to make the world feel more plausible. That brings you closer to it in the sense that you have this attachment to it. You want to protect it. You want to do your best as the commander of XCOM. So you've got 4 different classes of soldier in XCOM. You've got a heavy weapons specialist. He's a guy with a machine gun and a rocket launcher. He's going to solve your big problems with big tools. You've got a sniper. Again, classic soldier role. He's a guy who can either sit up on a mountaintop like Zeus and hurl thunderbolts at people, or somebody who can bushwhack through the weeds, get in a position for that perfect shot and take it. You've also got assault soldiers who are the masters of sort of close quarter combat. So they can take a ton of damage and they can dish a ton out at close range. So again, somebody you want to use if you like to get up and close and personal. And the last class is the support soldier. This is a guy who can fill a whole bunch of roles on the battlefield, from medic to jack of all trades. But first and foremost, those soldiers are there to kill aliens, and that's their primary job, and that's what they do really well. You're going to see some pretty awesome armor, especially later on in the game. You've got the Archangel suit, which lets you fly. That's really useful, especially for aliens that are running around on the ground and looking to do you a lot of harm. There's the ghost armor. You engage that, it puts a cloak around your soldiers. Aliens can't see them. That gives you a much better position to attack from cover. We also have different kinds of armor that improve, for example, psionic abilities and things like that. So very, very cool stuff, especially later on in the game. In research, there aren't a lot of blind alleys that you can go down. There's a lot of things that you can learn about the aliens by going through this. In the beginning of the game, we direct you in a couple of different ways, and then that web of possibilities for what you can research just starts to explode after a while, after you're bringing stuff back from missions. Pretty much anything you bring back will have some utility later on in the game. So we want players to know not only what they're working for in the short term, but how that's going to affect their decisions later on in the game.